First speaker then, we're going to bring up Dr. Corey. Dr. Corey, come on up, buddy.
Love hearing that. Hello, America. Did you guys just say something about the land of the free and the home of the brave? That's what I thought. I'm just honored to be here amongst you guys. You guys are the free and the brave, and you want to keep it that way. You know, what I want to talk to you guys about is how this happened, right? How our country and our freedoms were stolen. They stole it using science. That's why I'm here to talk, because I'm a physician, I'm a researcher. I had to have a front row seat to how they corrupt the science that enabled them to take our freedoms away, prevent us from keeping our livelihoods, keeping our families. And they did that by being criminals. These were crimes perpetrated by criminals, and I want to talk about who those criminals are. I didn't believe this going into COVID. I had to learn this. But you need to understand something, and I will speak about this for the rest of my life. But the pharmaceutical and vaccination industries are criminal enterprises. They don't care. They don't care about us, our health, our bodies. They have been a criminal industry for decades. If you look at the last 20 years, their 20 largest settlements, and by the way, they're always settling out their crimes. But in the last 20 years, in those settlements, they paid $13 billion in civil penalties and $6 billion in criminal fines. And that's not including the opiate epidemic. They brazenly commit crimes. They don't care. All they need to do is sell you drugs and put needles in your arm. And how they did this is terrifying. They did this using propaganda and censorship. They have fed not only this country lies, but the world lies. Nothing but non-scientific, manipulated, and hidden data. We know they hid the data. They're now admitting they hid the data. The lawyers are coming. But it's not stopping the dying. People are dying as a result of these crimes. And, you know, if you look at history, you look at states or countries under which they've befallen massive censorship and propaganda, those countries went mad. They went mad and they did horrible things. We've never in history had an entire world subjected to massive censorship and propaganda all at the same time. And that's why the world has gone mad. They've lost their minds. And when you feed people lies, misinformation, and you hide from them the truth, stop the is overwhelming. The life insurance companies. You want to talk about truth? The money men are now speaking up. The life insurance companies are reporting unprecedented 40% increase in death, non-COVID death, among 18 to 64-year-old United States citizens. That data is now available. They are running scared. The data of what's happened to our armed forces is just a horror show. We are living in a nightmare, but it's not a dream, it's a reality. They're literally killing our service members. They are falling sick with dozens of diseases at rates that they've never seen before. 300, 400, and even 1,200% increases in all sorts of terrible illnesses. And it has to stop. And beyond propagating these toxic vaccines and threatening our livelihoods and our families, they've also starved us of effective medicine. And that's the fight that I've been in. My organization, the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance, all we've done is doctor. We've just tried to emulate the true spirit of a physician, where you put your patient as your primary consideration, not a policy, not a protocol, and not some institution or healthcare agencies. They don't doctor, we doctor. And all we've tried to do is figure out how to treat this disease, and we did figure that out. The problem is we figured out how to do it with really inexpensive medicines. And that's what transformed my life, is as I began to speak out about the efficacy of these medicines, these life-saving medicines, I found out that I landed into a decades-long war on repurposed drugs committed by the pharmaceutical industry. They do not want you to know that natural therapies work. They do not want you to know the importance of vitamins, and they especially don't want you to know the importance of safe, unparalleled safety, low-cost, generic, off-patent medicines. They need obscenely profitable medicines to be used. And I saw that war on early treatment. Literally, we had our government telling us to stay home until you turn blue. And then you go to the hospital, and they use toxic medicines that don't work. Dumb medicines. Overtly dumb. None of this is subtle, guys. None of this is subtle. They're using an IV antiviral 10 and 12 days into a viral illness. Every doctor knows better. You don't use antivirals 2 weeks into an illness. They don't work. We know they don't work. But yet this country at $3,000 a dose infuses it into every American. The world has gone mad. And I thought my fellow physicians were immune to these lies, that we could look at the data objectively, openly, without bias. But they were no less immune than the rest of the country. So much of this country have believed all the lies and still believe the lies, and that's why I'm speaking up. And the way they did that war has transformed me. I'm like a broken physician now. I can't pick up a medical journal, because what appears in medical journals is what they allow to appear in medical journals. Exactly. And that's not the truth. It's the truth they want you to believe, and the doctors eat up those journals. They know how to do this. They're really good at doing this. They put lies in journals, and they put lies in the mouths of the broadcasters and the journalists. Every day I wake up to this mantra, repeatedly hammered, safe and effective. Safe and effective. We know they're anything but. And we're told that these medicines don't work, that they're for poorty work, right? And they ignore medicines. We have so many trials on so many repurposed medicines, they ignore them, they won't recommend them. While they propagate mutagenic drugs like molnupiravir and this poisonous drug called Paxlovid. I mean, this is really a nightmare, but this is what's happened, is our country's been taken over effectively by the pharmaceutical industry. All the policies being admitted from our agencies, which are captured, they are under a state of total regulatory capture. I'm just trying to explain to you what's happened, because we can't have it continue, and we can't have it again. They've used this playbook before. They've been using this playbook for decades. But the scale and the human cost is unprecedented, and it has to stop. You know, and what I've had to go through, and this is not an ego exercise, it's not about me, it's just telling you how hard it is to get the truth out. But I testified in the Senate in May of 2020, and I called for the critical and immediate use of corticosteroids in the hospitalized patient. I was in a university White Tower hospital system, and I had to leave because they were arguing that we could only do supportive care and that steroids weren't proven. I went out to the world and I said, you need to use it immediately, and I did it at a time when every national and international healthcare agency said don't use it, it will increase death. 2 months later, a big trial came out, and it's now standard of care worldwide. And I know that recommendation I put out for me and my organization saved a lot of lives in the interim. And then I tried to do it again. I was again invited into the Senate. I gave testimony that ivermectin must be globally and systematically deployed in the prevention and treatment of COVID worldwide. And that's when that war started. That war on ivermectin, that's not the first war in COVID. The first war was the war on hydroxychloroquine in 2020. So many people have died. We've lost hundreds of thousands of Americans due to that war of suppressing early treatment. They did it with the journals, they did it with the media. They did it by creating and designing trials in which those got toxic doses of hydroxychloroquine. They died more than control groups, and they claimed it didn't work. They know how to design studies and trials designed to fail, and the doctors don't realize it. And when I came out and spoke for ivermectin, you know, I had to leave a second job because they wanted to take away my First Amendment rights. They didn't fire me. They offered me a new contract, and that contract had about 8 different restrictions on my ability to speak openly and freely. It was a short conversation. I said no thank you, and I walked on. Then I got another job. I'm an ICU doctor. I need hospital practice critical care. And people were dying in the ICUs, and I was trying to help them, and I got a third job. And then that data, finally, I couldn't keep quiet about the vaccine data anymore because I could save a few in the ICU, but so many were dying outside from these vaccines. And I started to speak up for vaccines. Well, that job I got fired from. And, you know, so this has come at great cost to all of us. My story's not unique. I'm still alive. I got a few bucks in my pocket. You know, I'm going to be okay. I'm not in a grave. I'm not in a casket. So there's no sympathy that's needed for me. And I'm going to keep fighting the fight. At the same time that I've lost so much, I've gained so much. I'm here with all of you right now. Speaking truth and resisting tyranny. That is what we do. And keep in mind, they are coming after our children. Not only do we have to protect them, but we have to show them how to live like an American. And all of you have brought your children here tonight. All of you have shown up who can tell your children and your grandchildren that you were here speaking up, being American. In the truest spirit of America, we have to keep America free. It's been taken from us. We've got to bring it back. Thank you.
I'm just, I hate to say I'm just a truck driver, because I'm not just a truck driver, but I'm a truck driver. I can't tell you what's right or wrong, but I'll tell you what, it's nice to know that there's some doctors here that are willing to stand up and speak the truth. We got another amazing doctor that was willing to sacrifice it all, Dr. Paul Alexander. Hey, how are you guys? Let's stand USA! 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 Let's give it up to the US trucker! Francis Collins, lock them up! 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 Look, I'm following Pierre, and I serve as Chief Scientific Officer for the Unity Project. Pierre also serves on the board, Dr. Pierre Forey. And I want to say this. They lied to us day one. They lied about asymptomatic transmission. That was a lie. They lied about recurrent infection. That was a lie. They told you that 10-year-old Johnny was at the same risk, equal risk of severe outcome than 85-year-old Granny with 5 medical conditions. That was a lie. They lied about the PCR test. That was a lie. It's the most bogus false positive test. It was a lie. They lied about natural immunity. They tried to tell you that vaccinal immunity was superior to natural immunity. That was a lie. And as Pierre just told you, we knew 1 month out of the box that we had early, repurposed, safe, cost-effective treatment. We had antivirals, we had corticosteroids, we had antiplatelets that could have cut the risk of hospitalization and death by 90%. Fauci and Burks killed tens of thousands of Americans. Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them all up! Lock them up! The Canadian trucker, I stood in Ottawa, started this. We have to make big praise to the Canadian trucker. The Canadian government went insane. They cracked down on the truckers. They brought in forces from the outside to brutalize the truckers. They did horrible things there. I was there for 3 weeks on the floor with the Canadian trucker, the most peaceful people, and I worked with the OPP and the Ottawa police and the RCMP. The police loved the truckers. The police worked with the truckers. So what you saw in the media was a lie. The Canadian government brought in forces from the outside. So we have to investigate them one day. Long live the Canadian trucker! Look, I am as angry as Pierre because I'm an academic scientist and I've been dealing with this for 2 years. Pierre, me, Peter McCullough, Robert Malone, Harvey Reed, Zelenko, we work together every day and we study the science. The CDC, the NIH, the FDA have not been contemporary with the science. They are out of step. These agencies must be taken down to the studs and fumigated. And I worked in the Trump administration. I am proud to say I worked for President Trump in HHS. And I know President Trump is going to take them down to the studs in the second term. We need to send him back again.
Yeah!
We need to lock up all those officials, all of them. Lock them up. 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 Listen, I want to end. I want to talk about the vaccine because here we touched on them. There is no vaccine. I agree with you. We did not, but we told them that. What we needed to do was strongly double down, triple down protection of the elderly, vulnerable in society. Do not lock the society down. We told them 1 month out, the end of April 2020. We said do not lock the society down, do not close schools, do not impose any mandate. Just properly take care of Granny in the nursing home, take care of Granny in your private home, and let the entire rest of society live normal lives. No touch from the government. Yet Fauci and Burks locked us down. So we must lock them up! Lock them up! And let me end, because this is my pet project. I have been dealing with this on vaccines, well, these injections or inoculations, whatever you want to call it, for children. And I can tell you this, there is no data anywhere in this entire world, we study this daily, that shows children at any risk. Children bring a statistical zero risk to the table. Children are at no risk of severe outcome or death. They never were. And you cannot tell me that a child with zero risk, you must apply a vaccine that confers no protection, yet skews towards harm. So parents parents in the United States, parents all over the world must understand. We know the data. We know the data. And this is the hill you die on. Never let them put this vaccine in your child's arm. Never. Listen, I went to Ottawa because they said that the trucker just had a gut feeling. And I said, no, it's not a gut feeling. It's beyond common sense. Because KME studied the science. We know the trucker has 100% of the science on their side. We reviewed 42 studies, 36 on Delta, 6 on Omicron to show that this vaccine failed. This vaccine does not protect the upper areas. This vaccine is non-sterilizing. It does not stop infection. It does not stop transmission. If a vaccine does not stop transmission, you do not need to take it. So the trucker now has become our scientist. And the trucker, the US trucker and the Canadian trucker is now schooling the rest of the world what these damn doctors should have done. So, let me close. Long live the US trucker. Yes. Long live the Canadian trucker. And let me end. USA! 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 USA!
I feel bad for the young man that's got to go after him. Man, that was, wow. Wow. Come on up here, buddy. Tyler Lee, come on up. This young man's been with us pretty much from the very start, has offered his assistance any way he can, and I try not to give too many politicians the platform, but we'll let him have his time here. Give it up for Mr. Tyler Lee.
Well, good evening, fellow patriots. I'm just honored to have the opportunity to share this moment in history with all of you. And this wouldn't be possible, obviously, without all of you guys showing up on the overpasses, being here to greet us, and then all of the ones that started from California and other states. Let me just say a big thank you, because every day, all of us that have been traveling across the country the last 10 days have just been in tears just for the support that we're seeing and the patriotism. And I just want to honor you and say thank you so much. So give yourself a round of applause. You know, the mainstream media hasn't covered this because they're fake news, and they don't want to see us unified like this. And this People's Convoy, as it's been reiterated many times, this is not about Democrats versus Republicans or black people versus white people. At the end of the day, we all bleed red, and we're all Americans, and we are here because we love our country. We have a fire lit under us, not just because of these corrupt politicians that aren't representing our voice right now, but I just want to honor the truckers, so let's give them a round of applause for being so bold. The world is watching. All the men and women that have sacrificed to put this on. It's humbling to see what's happening, and certainly we have to give a shout out to our Canadian brothers and sisters who were trucking and started this movement just a few weeks ago. You know, for me, a line in the sand was crossed 2 years ago when the government shut down my church and they shut down my friends' small businesses. But they left strip clubs and abortion clinics and liquor stores and big box retailers open. And what we saw come from that, my own governor in North Carolina, he said we have to leave the liquor stores open because we need people to be able to cope with this pandemic, yet he shut down our churches. and isolated people from their communities, and because of that, we saw mental health and suicide skyrocket. And I'm fed up. I'm fed up with these corrupt, these career-long politicians. They don't represent us in Congress. They don't represent us in the White House. They don't care what we have to say. None of them have been here in the trenches with us. The ones that show up are here for a photo op. And we are so sick of that. And I need people like you to join me in Congress, because we, the people, are the ones that run this country. You know, since I launched my campaign last summer, I didn't expect for things to go downhill as fast as it has. But every day now, it seems like I have to defend the police because they want to defund the police. I'm fighting for parents whose children are being indoctrinated with this evil propaganda, and we know better how to parent our children than the own government. We want them to stay out. We don't need them to co-parent with us. I shouldn't have to show up to rallies for healthcare workers and individuals who are being threatened over termination or have been terminated because they've chosen to make a personal choice to refuse the vaccine. We should not be at this place in America right now. And my own brother serves in the United States military. He's part of the Army, but he's being discharged right now as we speak because he stood up against the vaccine. You know, there's a story in the Bible, and I shared this the other night at our other rally. Moses went to Pharaoh and he said, "Let my people go." And right now, we're in Maryland because we are telling these politicians, let our people go. And lastly, I just want you all to know, when I'm your next congressman, I'm going to stop funding Anthony Fauci's salary, and anybody that continues to go to jail. So we intend to expose all those corrupt politicians and lock them all up. We got a long road ahead of us, but I need you all to stand behind us, share all of this content, and continue to tell your friends, show up to the polls this summer, show up in the general election in November. We need you. We the people run this country, and we're going to remind them of that this year. So God bless you all, and God bless America.
Next one I'm bringing up is one of the co-organizers, Mr. Mike Landis. And for those of you that don't know, him and I grew up together. We've done quite a bit of this crap over the last couple of years, I think. But here's Mike with another heartwarming story, I'm sure, that will all bring us to tears. Thanks, Mike. Mike Landis, everyone. Man, I ain't quite sure about all this. Last time I had to stand in front of people when I was in school with him, I passed out because I don't like attention. Definitely a weird place we found ourselves in over the years, from the stuff we're not going to talk about that we did in high school to this here. What an amazing journey so far, though. And you know, the biggest question I've gotten asked so far is, why are the truck drivers doing this? I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. The best thing I can think of is that we're modern-day vagabonds. We know all about freedom. We travel from place to place just doing as we please for the most part. The other side of that is we travel place to place doing as we please and get to see how this pandemic has really messed up this country, messed up people's lives, ruined businesses, took away housing from people, and as you've heard the doctors say, it's all for nothing, really. It's sad to hear some people's stories about what has happened to them and their families, and although some people think it's not that big a deal to have these mandates in place and everything, they haven't traveled around out of their own little bubble, apparently, unless they're one of them people that have been affected. A lot of truck drivers are patriots, they're ex-military,
and they love this country. And as someone said, I think most of us have the balls to do it. And I know some women that are truck drivers that have bigger balls than some other people too. So here we find ourselves, blue-collar workers intermixed with white-collar workers and such going through this. And when we met with the doctors, we learned so much, as you heard some of them say already. You know, you heard Dr. Corey say some of his fellow physicians are even to blame for this because they're too afraid to lose their jobs. And the one thing I think everybody held sacred over anything in this country is the fact that if you get sick, it doesn't matter where you are, you can go to a hospital or a doctor and feel that you're supposed to be saved and taken care of, not worried if they're going to kill you because of money.
Yep.
I don't know where this country went so wrong over the years, but it's not what we learned about in high school, I can tell you that. And everybody knows the story of the flag, I think, that's flying behind my truck, yes? Yes. Tell it again. I'm going to tell it quickly because, as you can see, I'm holding another one here. Apparently, it's become my occupation to collect flags of fallen soldiers, which I will honorably do so. That flag was given to me by the grandson of a fallen World War II soldier that died in a tank in Germany. That flag came back on his casket. And this fellow's mom, which is the daughter of this man who's 78 years old, asked him to drive it from Texas to us in Oklahoma because she wanted to fly behind my truck. Why? Because it's the first thing since World War II that's reminded her of freedom. And that was a powerful message, and I'm not going to lie, I cried when the man handed it to me. In Ohio the other night, another man walked up to me. I barely parked the truck, and as I opened the door, he was standing there holding another one of these, and I looked down and I just went, man, not again. It's heavy. I don't know how many of you have ever held one of these, especially if it's given you under these circumstances, but this is one of the heaviest things I've ever held. Like, it's a heavy experience. So this fella tells me, he says, look, this is a Vietnam vet's flag. I don't know the man. I found it in the trash in a bag. And all it had on it was Twilla's flag. He's been trying to find the family for the last few years, and it had an empty shell casing in the bag with it. He said, I don't know what to do with it, but after hearing the story of the one that's behind your truck, I figured that you're the guy to give it to. So I took it. As most everybody sitting here, I've had family members that have fought in all the different wars and fought for our freedoms. And the one thing that really sticks out to me is there's a lot of men and women over the years that died for this flag because they took an oath to protect the Constitution, both foreign and domestic. Unfortunately, the military is being ran by the domestic terrorists that they can't fight. That's why the Constitution is so important, because in that Constitution, it not only gives us the right as the people, but it's our duty to stop a tyrannical government. To me, what I've seen coming across this country at an extremely slow pace than what I'm used to is that sleeping giant that everybody talks about, the people that are quiet and don't want to be bothered and just want to do their thing. They're waking up. They're waking up. As I look around and people ask me, what's the government so afraid of? Why are they afraid of you truckers? They ain't afraid of us truckers. We're just a bunch of people driving big vehicles around. What they're afraid of is exactly what I've seen for the last week and a half coming across this country and what I've seen today. You have every different color, every different religion. People that, one guy that was up here talking before me doesn't talk anything like me. Right? That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of you. They're afraid of we the people. And I feel if we don't see this through and we don't hold this government accountable for their actions and the lives that they've ruined and the lives that have been lost over this, every man and woman that died under this flag will be in vain. I personally do not plan on letting that happen. And as I promised and I said last night, my truck with that flag will go down Constitution Avenue past the White House.
Not my turn yet. Next up, we have Ellen here. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but this is someone new to the podium that hasn't spoke yet, and she's got a story to share about why you're doing this, right? Why we're doing this. Everybody, please welcome Ellen.
I was asked to come up here and tell you why we're doing this. We're a trucker family from upstate New York. The amount of support on the way down, on every overpass, in the middle of cornfields, in the middle of nowhere, you see two old ladies driving across these cornfields to get to that home to wave us on. I've met around for days just talking to different people. Every one of you, the nicest people we've ever met. Very nice group. My husband and I, like I said, we're truckers, but we're just like you. We're here, we're fighting for this cause to open up the country for our freedom of choice. We have 3 kids. 2 of my kids had to get vaccinated in order to keep their jobs. One of them ended up in the hospital. My daughter, healthy daughter, never been in the hospital before until that vaccine. But she did get to go to work afterwards. My mother, she died alone in a hospital. We couldn't go see her. She gave up her life to raise 7 kids, and she died alone because we were not allowed in, because we weren't vaccinated, to see her. We need to open up this country and get everybody back to work. You know, the truckers, you see, we've been busy since COVID hit. I could say we've never been busier, but we can't get a hose for a radiator. We have a radiator leak. We've been waiting 3 months for a hose. Why? We used to be able to walk in the store and pick it up. Well, people need to get back to work. We need these supplies in order to get that food to your table. It's horrible. But that's why the truckers are here. We're here for you. We're here to fight for your freedom and your freedom of choice. So thank you all.
We got a special treat tonight coming up. Many of you know him. Many of you have been along on this convoy from home because of him. Mr. Trucker T.
How you doing, guys? I know a lot of you guys have been watching me, so you know I lost my voice and all the yelling and talking I've been doing for the past, hell, I don't even know how many days it's been. You know, you ask 100 people out here why they're here, and you're going to get 100 different answers. We all have our own reasons for being here.
Freedom!
Good. You just said it for me. The people on the left. There ain't us. there hasn't been anybody out there that knows we the people. Ain't none of them ever been hungry like we have. Get there, they do what they want to fill their pockets. And I'm tired of it. I think a lot of you are tired of it. You know, this is the issue just about mandates. Mandates is just what broke the straw that broke the camel's back. It's about control. You're exactly right. They've been doing it way too long. You know, we left... Yeah, I can't be too loud, guys. Otherwise, I'll really lose my voice. We left California, and I've seen something that nobody's ever seen before. We've seen this country come together. Something that's been we waited far too long to do it. You know, they've got us so divided between black and white, red and yellow, race and religion, sexual orientation. I don't care about none of that. You do what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting somebody else in the process. You know, starting this trip, I planned on making it to Cuba, Missouri, and I was going to split off with the rest of the lunch. My dad was going to have heart valve surgery in Denver, Colorado. He called me up, and I called him is what had happened. And I called him up, and I told him, Dad, I'll be out there. He goes, no, you keep going, do what you're going to do, what you're doing. It's far more important. And, well, it might have been the last time I seen my dad. And so I was going to go ahead and go because I talked to Brian, and Brian said, gee, you got to go see your dad. And so we were planning on going. The night before his surgery, my little brother was supposed to go take him to see his surgery, go to his surgery, and the night before he found my little brother slumped over and had to give him CPR. Rushed in the hospital. I spoke to the doctor there, and the doctor pretty much told me it didn't look good. I woke up the next morning, I was prepared to make funeral arrangements for my little brother. I told my stepdad that was living with me, hey, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to run to Nebraska to go pick my dad up and get him to the hospital so he can get his surgery there. And I woke up that next morning, prepared to make them arrangements for my little brother. Well, I went online, and I don't know if some of you guys may know or not, I've got a page on there, and I told all the people on there, you know, what was happening. I'm pretty much an open book on my page. And the people started praying. It wasn't 30 minutes later that I get a phone call saying my little brother's responsive. It wasn't 2 hours later, I was getting another phone call saying my little brother's awake. And he's wanting a cheeseburger and he's wanting to go home. He went in for surgery, came out just fine, and he's home. They're both home. This whole trip has been that way. This whole trip has been that way. We're in the beginning of March. We made it from California to here, and didn't hit one bad road. I've seen miracles happen daily in front of me. Chris, and I'm sure she'll be coming up here, and she'll tell you about the miracle with her husband. It's because of all you people and all your prayers. It's all the people that come together from coast to coast. And it's been far too long since we've ever done that. We've got to stop letting them divide us and come together as a people. And so we are the people, and they work for us. Is that not right? What is the slogan there, Brian?
Let's remind them that they work for us!
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all your prayers. And talk to a stranger. You know, smile. Make somebody's day. It's that simple. And agree to disagree. Yeah.
I'm going to bring up somebody real quick. He's well, he was with us out there near social media, but he's with us here also now. Mr. John Spencer, please.
The great Rush Limbaugh said, when are we going to see pushback? Rush, I'm happy to report, I'm looking at it. My name is John Spencer, and I drove to Indiana the other day with my son with a huge flag that I bought because I love freedom, and I love liberty, and I love America. And we didn't know if we'd be able to unfurl it, but Brian liked the idea. He says, go for it. We did it, and it turned out great. Everyone loved it. And so we're back here with it, and it's right over there in front of some trucks. After the last speaker here, I'd like to invite all of you to go over there, and we're going to parade under that flag. And what I'd like you to do is, the flag's crying out, illuminate me, illuminate me. We want to illuminate justice and love and liberty and freedom. So pull out your cell phone. Turn on the light. Help us make the light up. Think of someone special in your life. Maybe you have someone in the military. And think about them as you're walking underneath. When I hold my light and I walk under there, I'm going to hold it for my son. He's a Navy rescue swimmer. And we're all going to unite in light. We're come from different parts of the country. We're different nationalities, different politics, different religions. But we're all Americans, and we're all going to unite in light, tight, to illuminate that flag. See you in the light.
For those of you that were out in Indiana with us when we did that, you already know what kind of experience that is. It's pretty amazing. For anybody that wasn't there, I strongly encourage that when this is over, you head out there and help us unfolding that flag and experience it. It's amazing. It really is. Next we got Josh Yoder. Josh Yoder. Hi, good evening, Patriots. Thank you so much for coming out here and supporting the cause of freedom this evening. It is always heartwarming to see so many people showing up and standing up for their country. People who know there's a problem in this country and they want to do something about it. That is so important, and thank you for standing up with us. It's the truckers who are leading this movement. They have brought the issues of the day to light. They're leading the charge. And they're making a difference, and all of you are standing up with them. And this is so powerful. This is an American movement. This isn't a trucker movement. This is an American movement. It's a movement of humanity that's happening. And one thing I'd like to bring to light tonight, so my background is with the federal government. I was with the military and worked with the federal government for many years. And I can tell you that right now, as I speak, there are traps being we cannot get into the District of Columbia. They are telling me anyone who comes in there with the convoy is probably going to be detained. There's going to be big problems. So I'm asking you, please keep this peaceful. Keep it law-abiding. And do not go into the District of Columbia. I'm begging you. We need to stand together. We need to stand together peacefully. We need to stand up as Americans. That is absolutely critically important.
I'll be going to the District of Columbia.
And we can make a difference. All of us standing together, the most powerful thing that we can do is standing up and standing together and saying no, and saying we don't agree with what's happening in our government. We are the government. Every single one of us has the ability to change the world. And I'm asking you to stand with us. Stand up peacefully. Stand up lawfully. And make a difference. And we're going to do that. You're going to do that by voting.
You're going to do that by standing up and making your voices heard. You never know. When you stand up and make a difference as an individual, when you take a stand for what's right, you influence the people around you. That's how this country was formed. When we all stand up and we stand together, and we make our voices heard for the cause of freedom, that's how we change the world. And that's what you're doing here tonight. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting the truckers. Let's stand with them. Let's continue to stand for what's right here. Let's make a difference in the world. Thank you so much.
We've done it before! Tell us how to lock them up.
Okay.
Stop videoing me.
Everybody.
You're just so damn good looking. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. That's his name. The poor man. Yeah. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go. Their opinions. And everybody has a right to speak their mind. This is about our freedoms. This is about being Americans. And it's about standing up. That's what I'm going to say until it's my turn. Right now I'm going to welcome up Miss Maureen Steele.
Hi everyone. What a great crowd. We've been welcomed by great crowds the whole way across the country and at our send-off in Barstow. One of the things that has been so abnormal in all of our lives over the last 2.5 years is living in fear. Fear of our neighbors, fear of COVID, now fear of the government. It is an unnatural state for all of us to live in. And just by all of us being here and gathering and being together, we're showing courage. And courage is contagious, just as cowardice is contagious. And we've learned that over the last 2.5 years.
Freedom, not fear.
Pardon me?
Freedom, not fear.
That's right, freedom, not fear. You know, I don't know a lot about politics. I'm a mom. I have 7 children. 6 boys, 1 girl. So I'm pretty tough. That's why I can hang out with truckers. I was on Bannon last week, and he was asking me about the barbed wire and all the fencing and all the stuff going on in D.C., and he said, "What say you, ma'am?" And all that came to mind was, again, the unnatural state of fear. I don't know much about politics, but I do know about the natural world. There's no herd, there's no pack that ever puts their weakest in body, mind, and character as their leader. It is an unnatural state, and we've done it in our country.
There is no fear in love.
So we are all united, despite what our government tells us. We are not an inherently racist nation. This is a nation full of beautiful people. I've witnessed it every inch of this journey. I am proud to be part of this journey. Proud to be standing up here with the truckers, the tip of the spear. There's no surprise that the blue-collar boys threw their hat in the ring first to fight for our freedom. They have always done it. It's an amazing group of people. The docs of the Global COVID Summit, who stood with them, the pilots, the best blend of blue-collar and white-collar joining. That is America. So we all stand together. I'm proud of it. We're going to get our liberties back, our freedoms back, and we're going to do it together. Thank you all so much for being here. God bless you all. God bless our great country.
Come on. Come on.
We got our neighbor here. God bless America, man. All right, just saying, man.
I'm going to start off with something probably a little bit boring, but I think it needs to be said. I'm going to pull out my phone so I can look at the names and read them as properly as I can to the individuals that are helping to destroy this country. Because sometimes we need to call them out directly. Sometimes people need to know exactly where their leadership is voting. They need to know the voting record of their politicians.
Right.
And now right here on my phone highlighted is all those senators that voted no to ending the state of emergency the other day.
Come on.
I'm going to read every one of their names so that you know which ones it was and what states they're from.
Right.
And then we're going to do a little talk about it.
Good.
What emergency? What emergency?
Now, I'm probably going to butcher names. Just FYI.
Right.
The following are those that either did not vote, which is just as bad as voting no,
Right.
or they voted no. Baldwin, Democrat, Wisconsin. Bennett, Democrat, Colorado. I can't pronounce this one. Blumenthal, Democrat, Connecticut. New Jersey. Brown, Democrat, Ohio. Burr, Republican, North Carolina. Cantwell, Democrat, Washington.
Replace him.
Cornyn, Democrat, Maryland. Corper, Democrat, Delaware. Casey, Democrat, Pennsylvania. Coons, Democrat, Delaware. Cortez Masto, Democrat, Nevada. Duckworth, Democrat, Illinois. Durbin, Democrat, Illinois. This one's no surprise, but actually did not vote, which, like I said, Democrat, New Hampshire. Schumer. Schatz, Democrat, Hawaii. Sanders. Rosen, Democrat, Nevada. Reed, Democrat, Rhode Island. Peters, Democrat, Michigan. Do you guys want to hear the rest of them? Because I think you get the idea here. You want the Republican ones?
Yeah. We can look that shit up.
Yeah, we know the Democrats
If
are
I'm
all
saying it right, Republican Oklahoma chose not to vote.
We were just talking, no, honestly, we're talking great. So I said, oh yeah, Steven,
Chose not to vote. 5 chose not to vote. Now, it passed by one. By one. Now I'm going to make it clear here. Though there was a lot of the Democrat Party that had said no, not all of them had said no. Remember, this isn't really true. This is not a right issue or a left issue. This is an American issue. My point in reading those out loud is so that you understand the people that are causing the problems in this nation. That you understand how important it is to hold your legislators accountable. That you understand that that starts at the school board, the city councils, the mayors, the governors, the state legislators, and then on the federal side as well. It starts in your own community.
City council. Woo! That's right.
lot of good people in our government. I won't take that away. There are some really good people that are working really hard and are standing behind their constituents. They are speaking for their constituents. They really truly are. But as that list shows, there's at least 47 of them that need reminded that they work for us. We are not going to give up this fight.
Right.
We are not going to go away.
Right.
We are going to take a stand.
Yes. Right.
We are going to attempt to do it diplomatically through, hopefully, bipartisan meetings with these legislators, with some of you in the meeting.
They're just going to lie to us.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Most likely they're going to just lie to us. But that's why we don't go anywhere, sir.
Come on.
Until they actually start to do something.
Good. Hey, I'm here.
That's why we sit there in our backyard.
Yep.
And we wait until they legitimately drop the state of emergency. They drop the vaccine mandates.
Good. Yes.
And they begin the process of bipartisan investigations.
Yes.
Congressionally, through hearings, to find out the transparent version of the pandemic's origins, as well as who is responsible for screwing this up so badly. I personally am not going anywhere until we get what we're asking for. That's right. That might mean I'm sleeping in a tent on the side of the road somewhere. That might mean I get a cardboard box that says freedom on it and just lay there every single night.
I got some bare bunks in my camper.
But I'm not going anywhere until we get what we're asking for. And the best part of it is if you all stand together.
Yes. Right.
We don't need to go anywhere, and we will get what we're asking for.
Good. Good.
But you need to stand together.
That's right, exactly.
It takes all of us. It takes every single one of us. Those that are here that lean to the left, and those that are here that lean to the right, and those that are independents, those that don't affiliate with any political party. It takes the American people to stand together to get this stuff done, and together we can.
That's right.
As a truck driver, there is nothing I hate more than sitting still somewhere.
Right.
And as we close our second night here in Hagerstown, I understand many of you are ready to rock and roll.
Ram the gate!
This is where that standing together and some patience may be required.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you right now, they sent people down here today to have a discussion to find out what our plans are and where we're going.
Don't tell the enemy your plan.
We're on a need-to-know basis. We don't need to know right now.
They know that we plan on having meetings, and currently right now we are working on another location that we will move to that puts us within just a few miles of the Beltway. This is where the gut check comes into play. This is where you need to dig in deep and figure out
just how deep your commitment to this cause goes.
Yes, good.
You need to dig deep and stand by one another and follow the process of diplomacy, which America is supposed to be doing all around the world and failing half the time lately. We cannot fail at that.
Right.
That doesn't make us any better than them if we do. So I'm asking you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you to please hold the line and be patient. Be patient as we develop this plan going forward. We will not leave until we get what we ask for. I am committed to each and every one of you. I know some didn't like what an individual said up here tonight. I could hear it. I saw it in your faces. I get it. That is a person's opinion, and it is a very good opinion, honestly. I'll tell you right now what happened today.
Sam Elliott's in
I went into D.C. this morning.
That's my man.
Yeah. I went into D.C. in a tinted vehicle, sat in the back, never got out, didn't show my face, and did a couple laps around the Beltway and down into D.C. proper to take a look at what it looked like. I'm telling you, it's creepy.
I was there last weekend.
It's always creepy, you're right, but this is a different feeling.
Listen, guys.
They are waiting for us to show up, and it's a trap.
That's right. Exactly right.
I'm not going to tell you that we're not going to do things, because we're going to do it through diplomacy first, and then we will take the next step if things don't work. But if people leave, or they give up the fight, or they go and do some wild cowboy stuff,
come on,
we lose our upper hand.
That's right.
Right now, we have the upper hand. Right now, the People's Convoy. Going forward, we need to have each other's back, and right now, more than ever. You're right, they're not. But right now, we need to stand together more than we have so far this entire journey.
Good.
It starts with policing ourselves. There are many here tonight that probably shouldn't be here. You know what I mean?
True.
And for those of you that are here that fall in that category, you know exactly who you are. But guess what?
Come on.
So do I. I'm not kicking you out. I'm not sending you packing. If you are here for the right reasons, you are here because you believe in your freedoms, and you are here to support this mission. I don't care how far left or how far right you are. I don't care.
Good.
I care if you care about the Constitution of the United States and restoring that freedom. That's what I care about. I care about reminding our government and all those folks around the world that their governments work for us. That's what I care about. Tomorrow morning, there will be a meeting down here at the flatbed trailer and the step deck, and we will talk about the future plans. Let's make it for 8 a.m. Everybody okay with an 8 a.m. meeting?
Good.
8 a.m. We're going to talk out there at the flatbed, okay? 8 a.m. Tonight, we have great music that's going to be out there. Tonight, we're going to hang out with the people. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have that meeting, and we will discuss our future plans, what we're working on in detail, the best that we can, and we will discuss going forward.
Thank you for the light.
Of what's going on here.
Thank you. I'm gonna share it, baby.
Let me remind you, sir. Brian Brosnan is not going anywhere until we get what we want. Summers, 2 truck drivers that surprisingly have a good voice. Immediately following, if everybody would go out there, we got that giant American flag to unfold together as a community as well. Jeremy Moser, Marcus Summers to close it out. Good night and God bless all of you. We must hold the line until our demands are met. Thankful for God's amazing grace. Don't take our hats off. Before the prayer to close it out, let me say one more thing. Those who have four-wheelers, those who have hotels, if you're able, hold on to them one more night, please. One more night. That should help you all out a little bit with our plans. Please hold on to your hotels one more night if you're staying in a hotel. Hold the line! Here's Chairman.
We bow our heads, y'all. Father God, we thank you for everything that you are doing for this convoy and for these people assembled here in your name for freedom. We know you go before us. You know you stand with us. We know, Father God, that your mercy and your grace is riding along in each and every one of these vehicles, in each and one of these people's hearts. Father God, I just ask you watch over each and every one of the people here, people at home, people watching on live streams and everywhere else. God, bless them, keep them safe. In Jesus' precious and holy name. Amen.
These are some good people here.
Are you sure it's not up there? We'll see.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of got a ration on too. You just don't know how long it'll be.
You ready to go? I realize what's trying to say. There you go.
Mic check. Attention, please pick up your trash and put it in a trash receptacle.
prefer to go up there and get a view and out down a flag. I'm kind of a four-man drone. Yeah. Well, I've got a drone, but I really don't want to put it up around here.
Also, give a round of applause for Rousseau for letting us have this place. Give a big round of applause, please.
I was heading right for that.
I don't know if you'll be able to see the flag that's on the thing.
Where's that? There's going to be
It is amazing. You saw it, did you?
I was there.
Yeah.
I was underneath it.
Oh, yeah.
I was holding it.
I was on the semi with the smoke. Smoke box.
Were you the one?
No. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to line it up like they did. I
don't know if they got enough room.
No, they don't. They're going to have to do it right in the road right in front there.
Yeah. There's all kinds of people down there, so I think that's what they're going to be doing it. That thing is huge.
I think it's going to be over
they should do it.
That's what I thought they were going to do.
Yeah, but everybody's lined up right over there.
You see my return to go trip now. You going to be on? Say hi. Say hi to Mom back home.
No, Mom's out.
That's where everybody's walking.
There you go. What's the first name?
First name Gary.
Gary?
Yeah, I grew up locally in farm here on West City.
Oh, I'm sorry, West Virginia?
Yep. So they could buy yesterday. Big flag pole that they brought here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's bunches of people up on the semi.
I knew there was somebody, I can't remember the exact name. I said that on the line after the other day, and I she'll call me out if I was wrong. But I remember, I don't think I was born here back then. 60 or something we did that? Yeah, I wasn't even born yet. I was young. I said, and we will take this country over and never fire a shot. You were pulled from within. We're at that point.
Pretty amazing.
Oreo Express, yep. I haven't met them. I see them on the road every day. Flatbed that they have a side kit, a 4 foot tall wall of plywood, aluminum stakes every 4 feet. There's a 4 foot by 4 foot piece of wood that goes in between the stakes. The stakes will go in the stake pockets, and it makes a wall around the trailer. And then they have bows that look like a little tarp over, so it looks like an old covered wagon. You've seen them out on the road, you probably just never thought of it before. There they go. Turn this around. They're doing the flag right now from way over here. I'm going to zoom in. I probably shouldn't do that because I'm messing with the screen. But there she is right there. Yeah, they're sitting there trying to say it's a...
All right, let's see it.
Flying around up there. There's the flag right there in the center of the screen. The thing is big. It's the same flag we had over in Indiana. Yeah.
He couldn't be here, but he's been following along with you also. It took me all day to go, but I found him.
Yeah.
I was over in trouble.
My bodyguard here?
I see you got the bodyguard.
I got me a new bodyguard, yeah.
Got a new jacket.
Yeah. What'd you do? Whitley, or you did a different kind of job, or what?
For a while, I was doing a light garage job. I worked in a gun range for 3 to 4 years ago, range state job.
I gave up on trying to come up with numbers and stuff. It's just because not everybody's here.
No.
All them people on the bridges, all the way across the country, all those people who didn't live on the bridges, but they want to be on the bridge, they're not here.
Yeah, and that's what discouraged something like me that's watching you and Oreo Express and seeing all these people on all the bridges. Maybe media wasn't talking about it.
Yeah. We get a little bitty coverage. It was like a little 1 or 2 minute shot right before the weather. It wasn't the main news. It was like, they talk about a car wreck and all that kind of stuff, and they go, oh, by the way, there's some people on the bridge and some trucks go by. And to the weather, please.
Yeah, there's been some calls that I don't know, said like this is just some liberal calls that they agreed with. They covered them all the way.
Thousands of people here now, not hundreds, thousands. This reminds me of the Kern County Fair back at home. So much people and walking lots. underneath the flag. That's how big this flag is.
You're on Okay. I'm complete. I've done my duty. There she is. I talked to her earlier today. Who was this with? I forgot.
Oh, that's Marie from WDVL.
Partner.
Hey, you're live, man.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good deal. Appreciate what you do, sir. Appreciate it.
Right, we all bleed red, white, and blue, right?
Hello.
Let me wait for them people. You want to live here?
Yeah.
We all bleed red, white, blue. USA, baby!
I don't have any light.
Look, here he is.
We've been watching all across the country.
Oh, okay.
I'm walking sad.
You're welcome. It's just a contribution. You're like an old friend and we hear you on TV.
Tell my mom now. You're on right now?
Yeah, that's right.
How much is the delay? Oh, just about 2 seconds. See that flag way in the distance of pole? Yeah, that's the casket flag, yes.
Because I want to give him this bracelet. Because my dad passed away in March. And I felt like I needed to give this to you guys, to somebody. Because my dad was this huge, strong supporter. And I didn't even know this existed. Like, they picked it up, and my mom and dad picked it up at a rally. And some truck rally. And I just felt like there was something I needed to give him. And so I just kept going with my gut. My mom had some boxes of stuff packed up, and I started going through the boxes, and I saw this, and I said, that's what he wants me to bring here. So I wanted to give that to him. But
His name is Mike Landis.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
And kind of muscle guy.
Yeah, he's kind of big.
Not as good
I thought it was you.
Not as good looking as me, though.
So you must look similar, but he didn't have a hat on.
No, I can't see Mike in a hat. He's just not that. That's his truck headed down there somewhere. He'll be speaking.
Are we still going to talk again tonight? But we missed the rally.
I think we're just going to listen to music.
I know, and we thought it was going to be at 7.
Let's go. We're on a mission.
Thank you so much.
We're on a mission. Camera guy.